Hey guys, welcome to Sake of Truth. My name is Christina. Welcome back to South Africa's Christian podcast. I actually almost forgot how to do my intro because it's been so long since I've been on the podcast. I hope you guys are doing well. It's so good to be here, guys, after how many months? I think the last time I posted anything was sometime in February, if not March. But rest assured, today I came to explain myself on why I have been away for so long. But before I even start, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button so that you know whenever we post a new video. And if you're on Buzzsprout, don't forget to download this episode, share it with family, friends, everybody who's around to listen, because today is going to be a good one. So let's get to the video. Why am I so nervous? I don't know why I'm so nervous. But anyway, as you can see, the background is different. That actually means that I am no longer where I used to stay. So sometime in April this year, after a year-long contemplation, I decided to rent out my place, pack up my bags, and move back home. I've been wanting to do it. I was interested in doing it, but it took me a while to actually, get over the fear of doing this. So as of the 1st of May, I've been living at home with my mom and my sisters. And I guess this podcast is just to catch you guys up on how that has been, how that looks like for me, especially at 33 years old. The expectation is that you move in with your husband, or you move into a bigger place or whatever it is, but mine was to move back home. So I just want to sensitize you guys on why I made that decision, how has that been being at home for this long, and also how long I plan to stay. The first question, why did I move back home? Financial catch-up, right? So we had to move to a new place. So I think most of us know that when you move to a new place, there's a lot of things and a lot of requirements for you to settle. So I also needed to be there to be able to settle with my family so that we are able to have, a great transition as we move to a new place. And that also became an advantage for me. If I rent out my place, then I don't have to be paying as much money staying where I was staying, and then also still be able to contribute what I need to contribute back home. I get to save a lot of money when I don't stay alone. When you're with your family, you do stuff together, you spend money together. There's a sort of a balance that happens. So I needed that financial catch up so that I can also be able to save a little bit of money. The other reason that I moved is that before COVID and all this lockdown and stuff, life was pretty much a routine, right? You wake up in the morning, get ready for work, go to work, spend 8 hours in the office, be stuck on traffic, come back. By the time you come back, it's probably 8 p.m. You freshen up, you eat, and go to bed. That was literally my routine 5 days a week since I got a job, right? Since I became an adult, basically. So I was never at a place where I felt, I don't know, alone or bored or lonely at times. So it was like hectic, my focus was church and work. Like if I'm not at church, I'm at work. The only usually time that I get to be home by myself would be Saturdays. And that would be nice because for me, that was the time to sleep. So I didn't necessarily feel any gap. But after COVID-19, I got to live alone, work alone in the house. So working remotely as well, I'll spend obviously 7 days a week at home. Day in and day out, I'm in the house. So from 2020 up to now, I don't know, I just felt like there was no need for me to be alone anymore. It was a bit overwhelming. There was a point where I honestly felt like, why am I here? Especially because I have people that I really want to spend time with. I mean, I've been living alone for such a long time that it almost felt impossible that I could be able to live with my family again. So it really just made sense to say, actually, I don't have to be here and I can be able to spend time with my family. Another thing as well, honestly, I wanted to be close to my mom. I haven't been living with her for a long time, and I wanted to do that in this lifetime again. So I saw this as a great opportunity. I don't have to be in a certain city forcefully, especially because my employer has given me a privilege to work remotely. So I decided, let me go home and, be with her, spend time with her and my sisters as well. And it just pushed me to really move. So I think those are more or less my major reasons why I had to move back home. I didn't see any reason why not. All these years since COVID, I felt like, nah, what if they call us back to the office? What if they call us back to the office? But I ended up saying, so what? If they do, I'll go back. But at the moment, why not take advantage that they haven't yet and actually then spend time with my family? So how has it been? So it's been fulfilling to be around them, to be serving them, to be spending time with them, sometimes to be annoyed by them and sometimes to annoy them. So it's been quite, I don't know, it's been wholesome, man, fulfilling more than anything. As believers, we are taught serving one another, and I've never necessarily had the opportunity to be around my family enough to serve them, when they want someone to run errands for them, to do that, to run around for them, to do stuff for them. So it's been quite a fulfilling thing to be able to do that for my family, because ever since I became a Christian, I was not at home the entire time. So it's also good to just be around family, and sometimes to even be challenged by them, conversations we have, sometimes the fights we have. You also learn to be accommodative, to be patient as well, because when you're alone, no one is there to teach you patience. You actually think you are the most patient person ever because you're just like alone. You're fighting with nobody. You're challenged by nobody. But when you're home, you actually realize, you know what? Yeah, it's challenging to be around people. And I guess for me, that's actually very fulfilling. It's been quite interesting. It's also been challenging as well. It's so funny. This may sound contradictory, guys, but it's also been challenging to not be alone at times. So there's this thing that you get used to when you live alone, that you're used to your own space. You're used to doing stuff alone. You're used to a routine where you can say, 12, I'm going to do this. But now when you stay with people at home, at 12, you might not do what you plan to do. So those, sometimes inconveniences to just say, oh, actually, you're reminded, actually, I don't live alone now. I don't make decisions as though I live alone. Because sometimes I'll be like, I just want to go to the mall. Let me go to the mall. But now I can't just up and go to the mall. I have to say, Mom, I'm going to the mall, or to my sisters, I'm going to the mall. And then they'll be like, why? What are you going to do to the mall? And sometimes I don't have a reason because I'm used to just going to the mall when I'm bored. So now I realize, actually, yeah, what am I going to do at the mall? It's those things that you're just like, oh, I don't live alone anymore. It's a bit challenging in a good way as well. Balancing being organized, making your own plans, and being accommodative to other people. So I've been fighting to try and get that balance. So another thing that I'm so excited to also share, it's been so exciting to find a new church home. Like that one, I think I was most nervous about that, to say, will I find an assembly that I can be able to fellowship with sound doctrine, because that's the most important thing. What are they teaching really? And you know what? I'm happy to report that I found the best church home, great brothers and sisters in Christ, where we do Bible studies together. So it's been quite fulfilling to know as well that I'm not, sort of lost spiritually. I have a home that I can still grow in. Moving from where I used to stay does not necessarily mean that I can regress, in my faith, that I'm continuously progressing. So I'm grateful for the church family. So that's how it's been being home, and it's been amazing. It has its own challenges, but I do not regret making that decision. I don't regret it, and I'm just grateful to God that I was bold enough to make that decision. There was a point where I was just like, Lord, what should I do? What should I do? But I just needed to discern what is important for me right now. Can I make that decision? What consequences does it have financially, emotionally? So I needed to be sure that the decision I make is not going to be detrimental to my job, not to my family, to finances and all this kind of stuff. In fact, it has become beneficial financially. So how has it felt living the home I stayed for over 8 years? Man, I moved into that place when I was very young. I think I was 25 years old when I moved into my new place. And it was very emotional to move out. I don't want to lie. Like the last few days, I felt like, do I really have to do this? When the furniture was going out, I felt so emotional, because to me it was just like, this is my life, man. I'm picking up my life. I made friendships, because those were the first authentic friendships that I've had, friendships in Christ. So those are my sisters, man. It was very hard to leave them behind. And I'm not saying that I let go of my friends. We still talk. I'm still close with my friends, but it was just hard to be far from them. So it was not easy to just pack up and leave. I remember the last day, it was very emotional when the entire furniture was out and I had to look back. I'm like, so I'm actually really doing this. And I kept comforting myself, no, man, I'm not gone forever. I'm not gone forever. But it was not easy. I think at the moment I enjoy being home. So I'm going to be here for as long as the Lord wills. I'm going to stay here for as long as I can, as long as I'm able to. I just want to be here with my family, and I've not regretted this decision 1 second. I'm not saying I don't miss the area. Sometimes when I go there for work, I can see, man, I miss Joburg. But at the same time, not enough for me to pack up and move again. So at the moment, I'm content where I am. I'm not sure how long I'm going to stay. I guess with that one, we'll find out as time goes on. But when it comes to the podcast, since now I've settled, to be honest, the delay was because I was still settling. I didn't have a capacity to be able to shoot anything during that transition. It was a huge transition. Not to mention that work has been quite hectic as well. So I haven't been able to be as consistent as I can. But hopefully now I'll be able to have more consistency. I really just wanted to update you guys and share with where I've been and why I've been away, and how that has been looking like. So another thing was just also debunk this analogy or stereotype that, you can't move home at this age. There's really no reason for you to not be home at a certain age, especially if you're still single. I don't see why not. I don't see the stigma around it. I just think actually it's a good idea, because the older you grow, the more you treasure people around you, the more you treasure the little things, man. It's actually, there's nothing that holds you back from doing that, I don't see an issue. That's really all that I wanted to share with you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification button so that you know whenever we post a new video. Don't forget to go download this podcast on Buzzsprout as well. Thank you guys for watching.